Welcome back to the next part of the YuKo tutorial series. In this video, we're going to work on our ranged enemies. So if I walk into this area, we have one ranged enemy and then we have 3 melee enemies from our other video. And if we walk around, the ranged enemy will fire eventually. The enemy is trying to stay as far away as possible. It's not using EQS, but it's still using that random location thing that we made. And so he might get a point that's super close to player, but I made the range a lot bigger. As you can see, he just threw a magic shot that we made in the last video. Now if we let one hit us, it should still hit us because all the damage functionality is played in our projectile and not from the enemy himself. So yep, so we get hit from that. Nice. Now we also fixed a bit of other issues, specifically with the death. Enemies sometimes still move when they're dead. Now they don't. We can finish an enemy off still and have no other issues. Try to target this guy, crash him on the ground, head over close to him, we can execute, bam. Yeah, so no other additional problems. If you guys want the project files, join me on Patreon. Let's get started. So welcome back to the next part of the YuKo tutorial series. In the last video, we worked on the projectile system. So as you can see, projectile flies at the player. If it hits, boom. Now we can even try blocking it with this dummy AI. I think it'll just phase right through him, and it should. So yep, it goes right through him and then hits us. Sad, but hard truth. But we are going to work on setting up the ranged enemy in this video. So let's start with that. So let's open up our enemies folder, and we could just duplicate our melee enemy, call it ranged. The only difference that we'll change is that, well, he does not need a static mesh, so we can remove this static mesh, clear it. We also probably want to change the color on this too, so let's duplicate this to make this like a reddish color. And then let's select it and then paste it in, compile. And for our ranged enemy, he's gonna need a special event. So it's gonna be a custom event. It's gonna be fire projectile. Projectile. And what this will do is it will spawn after from class. And the class would be the projectile. So we made a projectile called magic shot. Alright, transform. We're gonna get after transform. And then we're going to adjust location, but always spawn. Owner is going to be self. And that's it. That's all we needed. The damage and everything is handled in the projectile itself, but everything else should be handled here. And we're going to need a custom event or a anim notify for this enemy. Let's open the blueprints, open our enemies, anim notify. Let's make a new folder called ranged. We can duplicate one of this over, and let's rename this to am_ranged fire. And I don't know why. Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna delete that, and we're gonna cast to our BP ranged. So BP ranged, and then we're going to call the fire function. So projectile, fire projectile, and then we'll call this in the animation so it'll look almost seamlessly. Now let's make an animation because we're going to have to change the attack, because right now he has the enemies, the melee enemies animations. We don't want any of those. We only have one animation, I think. Ranged, yep, so we have one animation. This animation right here. So we're going to create an montage called am_fire, and we're going to add that same anim montage or anim notify, the ranged fire. So right around here, spawns it, and then we also need a reset state, enemy reset state. We don't need the enemy collision because he doesn't have a weapon, even though this says otherwise, but ignore that, it's gonna work. Now let's just plug in the animation in here. Perfect. Now let's open up the behavior tree folder. So let's open up behavior tree. Let's duplicate this. Wait, Why are these here? This should be in service, and this should be in decorator, and this should be in task. So let's duplicate this and call it BT ranged. Inside our ranged enemy, we want to reset that, so ranged, or we want to behavior tree. We want to change that to our ranged behavior tree. And another thing is we could also change the overlay. So what we're gonna do is in our base enemy inside our event graph. Now in our attack EG, we're gonna promote this to variable. So call it overlay. Now should have by default the blue, yep. But what we could also do is make a material instance, and we can make it maybe a red color. No, wait, hold on. Our character is red, so let's give it like a green color, or maybe yellow color. There we go. And we can tweak some of these values here. Like, there you go. Tweak some of those values. Now we can, in here, we're gonna compile our base enemy first, and then we're gonna search for overlay. And we can plug in our yellow overlay instead. I don't think yellow and red will look very good, so let me change that color to maybe like a greenish. It's probably not the right color, but it's definitely gonna stand out a bit better than yellow. And inside our behavior tree, so let's open our behavior tree. Ranged, behavior tree, open our ranged behavior tree. The chasing and this stuff can stay the same, but here are some things we're going to actually have to change. So first things first, actually let's head over to AI control and let's make a base class, child class. So call this BP ranged controller. And the reason why I'm doing this because I want to be able to modify some stuff. So first things first is open up our base enemy. And what I want to be able to modify is strafe distance. And so if I search for strafe distance, I want to set this to like maybe 1500. Ranged enemy should try to stand pretty far away from the player. And then everything else should stay the same. What we could also do is have a max time, so max attack time. 4 for minimum is pretty good. I like it. So here I'm going to search for a max, and attack time I'm going to probably set it to 25 for the ranged, and then probably set this to like 20 for the melee. Alright, so that should be good. In the ranged, we don't have a second attack, so we're not going to perform that, but we do have an attack on ranged one, so that should be good. We should also set focus instead of clearing, so we're going to actually play the animation and then we clear the focus. Everything else we don't need to move to, which is good. We begin attack, which sets our overlay. We clear our focus. We don't even need to clear focus. We want to set focus, play the attack, clear focus. All of this stuff should be the same. And move to, yep, so that should get overridden by that. And then for strafe, let's make the radius even larger, so maybe around 1000, maybe 1000. Yeah, just give it at 1000 for now. Acceptance radius, we want to bump this up to 200. Actually, let's keep it at 100. And let's see it work. So let's select our spawner, and let's delete everything. Let's add a new mapping, and let's add ranged, and we want to spawn 1. So once you walk in, we have a ranged enemy. Let's find a pretty large point. Now for ranged enemies, I feel like they should, once they finish strafing, they should wait longer. So let me bump this up to 5. So let me enter this. So one round. Yep. Now if he attacks, see it. Yep, so he does attack, but he's still trying to move to the next location. So let's see it one more time. Yep, so he does attack, which is nice. Doesn't clear focus, so what we're going to do is before we move to our next location, You want to clear focus too. So let's clear focus before we move to next location. And what we also want to do is make sure we have root motion enabled for this. Let's open this up. This will stop our player from sliding while performing the attack. Our enemy from sliding before performing the attack. So let's see if he's running and he plays the attack. You should just fire it. Yep, so he just stops and then he performs the attack. But now it doesn't clear his it doesn't clear his focus. So let me set focus, play the attack, and then clear focus. Let's do that all in one. We can also check to see why he's doing that. So let's open up it in a separate window and let's just watch him go. Right now it's strafing. If I run too far away, he'll chase. Now it's strafing. Now it's chasing. Attacking. Okay, now I think there's something here that is causing it. So let's open this up. Strafe distance. Now let's see. Yeah, so strafe distance in our range. Oh, we never set our controller to our enemy, so let's do that. Let's open our range and search for AI controller. And let's select our ranged AI controller. So ranged controller, that's probably why. So now let's test. So now if we run pretty far away, he's not going to chase. Still going to strafe. Then he's going to attack. Yep, there you go. Nice. Now the green color is probably not the right color, but it definitely stands out a bit better. So let's see it. Oh, there you go. Now there's still that weird thing that he does. So let's see what's going on. Strafe. Let's see. Abort both. Let's just abort itself. Yeah. Okay, set focus. Wait. Clear focus. Okay, yeah, let's see. Let's see why he's doing that. Typically happens once this player starts moving. Oh, I don't think he's gonna perform that issue again. I don't think. Yeah, so he's not gonna perform that weird issue again. I don't know why he does that. Happens sometimes in Unreal Engine. If you have something running in the background proving that none of your code is wrong, you actually don't get any issues, or maybe you do. Okay, we've got a weird issue here, so we failed to move. How did we fail? Acceptance radius. Oh, maybe it's because we're getting too close to the enemy or something. Hold on. Clear focus, this gets failed. Acceptance radius, just set it back to 50. Maybe he's finding an area, a point that's too close to each other. Maybe that could be the issue. We can even drop it down even lower because it's an AI. Since it's a ranged AI and they're pretty far away from the player, usually we can just keep it away. Now I think that would fix that issue. So let's add some other enemies. So let's add some melee enemies. That's 3 of them, 1 ranged enemy and 3 melee. Bam. And spawn it. Okay. Yeah, you can also add some like on-screen indicators for attacks, just in case the ranged enemy is too far away, you can't see him. Now also ranged enemy, I also want the ranged enemy to be able to hit the player from in the air. So what I'm going to do is we're gonna set the rotation. So we're gonna set the location to the right stuff. But rotation is gonna be a find look at direction. Find look at rotation. Start would be get actor rotation, get actor location, and then want to get player character. And then get after location. So if the player is in the air and the enemy can still shoot the player from the air and knock him down. So let's see it. Yeah, so you can attempt to shoot, and I don't think we have a reaction for it yet in the air. So hit reaction for the air. So you can see he attempted to hit me from in the air. So it's yeah, so if we ever get hit in the air, that just happens. So if we try attacking in the air as well, yeah, so we can have multiple enemies in the air, which is nice. So if we do try to attack in the air, the reset state should kick in and drop us back to the ground. But you can definitely add your own hit reactions. So we pretty much have solid combat here. Now we can also give these enemies different health stats, and the player is probably doing a little bit too little damage here. So let's start setting up our values to better represent the characters in the game. So let's search for damage. Yep, our damage should be we should set our damage to 10 for a player. Enemies do have to do the right damage, but their stats are pretty high. So search for health. Oh, this is our controller. Let's search for our health here. So max health for ranged, we'll set it to 80. For melees, let's set it to 100, which I think I have, so we're good. Now we also want to check his execution health, so let's open this and search for execution health. For ranged, let's do 30. Yeah, 20, let's do 20. And then for our melee enemies, it should be something like 10. So execution health, let's do 10. Or we can do 20 as well. There we go. So now we can actually pretty much have pretty solid combat now. Now enemies are still gonna try to hit you while you're in the air. What you can do is try to code some functionalities. Now that's a weird thing. So the enemies are still gonna rotate towards me. So there's one more thing we need to fix. So let's open up our base enemy, which we should have here somewhere. So right here, let's open up base enemy. Death. So let's do perform death. From death, what we want to do is grab a controller. We're going to get AI controller. So get AI controller, and then control actor of yourself, and then we're going to unpossess. We're going to unpossess the controller after we do some things. We want to stop behavior or stop logic. We can't do that. Let's just do unpossess and then delete, clear focus, unpossess, and then delete the controller. Because once they're dead, typically they never come back alive. So destroy actor. Okay, now that should fix it. Nice, so now that enemy doesn't... Why does that enemy still face me? How interesting. Because we should have performed death. Oh no, we performed execution. That's different. So let's actually open up our base enemy and search for our execution graph. Execution. Once we play the animal montage, what we want to do is... We did disable collisions, right? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, so we disabled the collisions, but we also want to do is also destroy our controller. So let's open up our base enemy. Let's open up perform death. Let's copy this stuff. And let's head back to our execution graph. And let's plug this stuff in, and that should fix it. give it one more go. Let's kill the ranged enemy first. Yes. Oh. Now, you could turn that off if you want. Let me change the target radius. So let's go to targeting. Start target. I want to find a target quite largely. So radius, I'm gonna set that to 250. Targeting distance, let's even bump this up to like 2500. Okay, that should be better. There you go. A lot much better. So let's go up in the air, crash him down, and he died in the air, but he's not coming back onto the ground. There's no collisions on there, so shouldn't be any reason why. Let's check these other enemies, because I think that might be another existing issue that we should fix while we're here. Yeah, so they're stuck in the air. So what I also want to do, destroy actor. So it's not destroy actor, because I think we unpossess and it's already destroyed. What we also want to do is, if they die in the air, so let's perform death, set to falling. Huh. They did set it to falling, so they're not exactly falling, though. Huh. Let's clear this. Let's try it again. Yeah, okay, so because the controller is not there no more, so let's clear focus. Let's try that. Let's clear focus, but let's not unpossess. Because maybe unpossessing causes it not to, you know, stops all the functionality. Yeah, but it doesn't stop the behavior tree though. What should we do? We do indeed. Let's see. If we are not in the... Yep, and its current state is not... Base enemy, we clear focus. But the behavior tree should be like a function called stop logic. So let me try stop brain, I think. Search for brain. Get brain component. This should be that, and then we want to stop logic. Yep, there you go. That's fine. Okay, let's try this. Let's turn back context sensitive. Let's try this. He's still moving, but he's no longer... Did he try to move, or is he stop? Did he stop moving? So let's let me check this. We clear focus. We should stop logic, and then clear focus. So let's stop logic, and then clear focus. Maybe that might work. Let's see. Because he's still trying to move somewhere, and I don't know why. Let's close out of that. So let's open up our behavior tree. Let's take a look. Range. So right now it's waiting. Yeah, so the behavior did stop, but he still was trying to move somewhere. Maybe there's another key we can also try. So let's open our base enemy. It's getting quite messy. There's something called stop movement. Stop movement immediately. As soon as we stop logic, we want to stop movement immediately. We can probably also copy all of this stuff over to our execution as well. So let's do that. Clear unpossessed, clear destroy actor. Let's do stop logic. And get movement, character movement. Here we're gonna get brain, or here we're gonna get brain, and plug that in. Well, okay, now let's try that. Okay, yeah, so he no longer moves, which is great. Yep, so that pretty much fixes all the issues. So let's delete everything. Let's just add one ranged enemy just so we can test this out better without all the other enemies in the way. So if we knock into the air, yep, he falls back to the ground and dies. Nothing moves. Awesome. Let's check one more thing. We kill him on the ground. Yep, he dies. No other additional movements. Nice. So that's pretty much good. So let's delete this. So let's add back some more enemies and let's give it a roll. Let's add 3 enemies of our melee. Now let's save everything. And yeah, that marks the end of this video. See you guys in the next one.